My 29F boyfriend, 35M, leaves me out of a barbecue with friends after his best friend's wife, Jackie, spreads rumors about me. Girls can be catty, he said, leaving me wondering why he won't stand up for me. Is he pushing me away to keep the peace? I apologize for the length of this message, but I am in dire need of some guidance. I am uncertain about how to proceed from this point. My boyfriend and I have been dating for 9 months. We were introduced by his coworker and good friend, Robert, who is also my colleague. I have only met a few of my boyfriend's acquaintances once at a gathering, and naturally I work with his friend. However, I have not had the opportunity to meet most of his friends, whom he regularly communicates with in group chats. He has met some of my childhood friends, but he has yet to meet my best friend who lives out of state. Neither of us has met each other's families. Recently, he mentioned something strange. Although I have hung out with his friend, my coworker, and his wife before, he said that we probably will not hang out with them or go on double dates. Before he could explain further, I asked if it was because Jackie, his wife, dislikes me. He did not explicitly agree with that statement, but mentioned that it was likely due to the fact that I work with her husband, and you know how girls can be. For context, Jackie is 34 and her husband, my coworker, is 44. I had always assumed they were the same age. Jackie has no clear reason to dislike me, but I have sensed a negative vibe from her. I met Jackie before I even met my boyfriend at work events. I suspect she may harbor feelings against me because of her husband, especially since my boyfriend has misconstrued our arguments and speaks negatively about me when he visits their home. After this unexpected conversation, my boyfriend went to take a shower, leaving his phone on the charger. An event invitation popped up for a barbecue hosted by one of his friends. They have all been friends for years, so I know that my coworker and Jackie will obviously be attending. While planning for the upcoming weekend, my boyfriend stated that he is unavailable this Friday because my coworker wanted to go out for food with him. What my boyfriend is unaware of is that the message preview clearly indicated that this gathering will take place this Friday. He does not go out much, and all his friends typically meet in one place only a few times a year. This would have been a perfect opportunity for him to finally introduce me. I have a feeling he has spoken negatively about me to the point that he cannot bring me along. And then there is Jackie. So Jackie's husband, my coworker, let's call him Robert. Robert and I were definitely colleagues. However, after about a year of working together, he began sending me humorous texts on the work phone. It was never anything flirtatious and always during work hours. Then he introduced me to my boyfriend after I shared some of my awful dating experiences. My boyfriend informed me that Robert essentially pulled up my LinkedIn photos and texted him that I am very attractive and interesting, suggesting that we would connect well. Clearly, we did connect. However, after 6 months of dating, I had spent most of that time planning and paying for nearly every outing with my boyfriend. I became frustrated and almost ended the relationship. I made it clear that unless he stepped up, I would leave. As Thanksgiving approached, I took paid time off for the first time, and since neither of us has close family that celebrates the holiday, my boyfriend and I decided to create our own celebration. Since I had taken time off, we began planning to go to my parents' lake house. My boyfriend was unsure of his work schedule, so I asked him to inform me if he had to work so we could plan accordingly. He usually was unable to plan anything unless I did, and he thought asking me to hang out the same day on a weekend was acceptable, while I typically plan my weekends at least a week in advance. He promised to make a grocery list with me for Thanksgiving, but he never did. I sent him the list I created and marked off everything I had already purchased, which was the majority of the items. He replied that he made his own list and left the rest of the essentials up to me. I ended up spending nearly $200 on my own. He brought macaroni and cheese and a few side dishes. Then Robert texted me, inviting my boyfriend for a trip out of state and asking if my boyfriend could go that weekend. I asked Robert whether my boyfriend told him we had plans made 2 weeks earlier to go to the lake house for Thanksgiving. This was a group chat that included my boyfriend. He did not say a word in the group chat. Instead, he texted me privately expressing his displeasure about my anger. I told him to do as he wished, so he ultimately ditched me at the last minute to go on this trip. On a holiday weekend, it was too late and all my friends already had plans. He could have still gone to the lake house but chose to spend the weekend with Robert and Jackie, ignoring me entirely. I spent my first paid time off holiday weekend alone. After this, I decided to break up with him. I felt I had carried the entire relationship and paid for all of our meals and trips by that point. My boyfriend pleaded for me to return to him. I eventually got back with him and took him to our Christmas party, where Robert and Jackie were also in attendance. Jackie did not speak to me at all during the party, not even to say hello. We were grouped together when another woman began talking to me, and Jackie pulled my boyfriend aside to converse with him privately. Later in the evening, while we were bowling, she approached me and said I shouldn't get upset with the boys for wanting to take a boys' trip. Before I could respond, she walked away. Jackie spent the remainder of the evening speaking loudly about some women, the ones who were enjoying their drinks and laughing, calling them obnoxious drunks. The women were not even intoxicated. It became apparent that my boyfriend had twisted the Thanksgiving breakup argument into me being a controlling girlfriend who does not allow him to do what he wants. Now, Jackie seemed to have found a reason to dislike me, and my boyfriend is evidently aware of this, leading him to sideline me since he was the one who instigated the negative talk. Furthermore, I have noticed some peculiar behaviors from both Jackie and Robert. Before I met my boyfriend, Robert, Jackie, another coworker, and I attended a charity cocktail dinner and show for a work event. Jackie strongly encouraged me to pursue a connection with the coworker I attended with, even though I had no interest. Each time he stepped away from me, she would urge me to go after my date. During my first Christmas party with the company, prior to meeting my boyfriend, Robert ran over to me across a large venue and gave me a big drunken hug, but he did not bring Jackie with him for that. She appeared visibly annoyed. On another occasion, we all convened at Robert's house with other guests to watch a movie. My boyfriend knew everyone, but when I arrived, Jackie made no effort to introduce me to the group, and they all ignored me. Everyone there was also considerably older than I am. I was wearing a very warm and thick turtleneck sweater, and it was quite hot in the house. Jackie engaged in small talk with me while our partners were conversing on the couch. I mentioned how warm it was inside, which others echoed, but Jackie would not lower the temperature even though she was making this feigned nice girl small talk with me. I am typically very cheerful and easily make friends with strangers. I tend to make people laugh and can fit in anywhere, but I felt isolated in this group. I ended up seated alone on the couch, and the heat drove me outside for some fresh air. Suddenly, Jackie bolted outside after me, asking what was wrong. I told her that nothing was wrong, I was just very overheated. She acknowledged that she understood and returned inside, which I found unusual. At another company event that she and Robert attended, when my boyfriend was not there, she sat me down and tried to pry into how my boyfriend treats me. This time, she was acting unusually sweet and friendly, which was not characteristic of her. At another work function that the four of us attended, a formal black tie event, Jackie arrived in a tight miniskirt, tank top, and very high heels. Everyone else was dressed much more appropriately, and she certainly had not dressed that way in the past. She entirely ignored me and attempted to lift her skirt while sitting next to her husband. When her husband bent over to tie his shoe, she glanced at my boyfriend, smiled at him, and held his gaze for approximately 15 seconds without saying a word. Once Robert finished tying his shoes, she giggled and redirected her attention to the stage. I started to sense that there are some odd dynamics at play here. My boyfriend was single for 8 years and has always kind of been Robert and Jackie's third wheel, as well as Robert's sidekick. My boyfriend is a bit nerdy, while Robert fits the jock stereotype, and Jackie has always been the only woman in their dynamic. Now that the situation has changed, I sense that she feels some type of way about it. However, the fact that my boyfriend is pretending to go out for dinner with just his friend while attending a full party tells me precisely where I stand with him. Of course, he will not admit what truly transpired that Thanksgiving. He got dumped for being inconsiderate and making minimal effort, and he probably spoke negatively about me to his entire friend group. The other wives also now ignore me at events. Essentially, everyone who works together also socializes together. People have been treating me strangely at work, including Robert. I dress appropriately, seldom wear makeup, and wear my hair in its naturally curly style. I do not flirt with any of these men, nor do I act inappropriately, but I feel like a 29-year-old among a group of women in their 40s. And instead of managing the issues he caused, my boyfriend is simply excluding me since he rarely socializes with these people. At this point in my life, I am hoping to marry, have children, and start a family. I do not wish to marry in a church filled with people who gossip about me and harbor resentment for no reason. Moreover, I do not want to be with a man who gives them that ammunition. However, my boyfriend is unaware that I know about this event, and I am uncertain whether I should address it. If I mention Jackie's behavior, he will likely say that I am overthinking. I feel trapped and do not know how to approach this situation. In summary, my boyfriend is excluding me from events, and I suspect it is because his best friend's wife dislikes me. Story 2. My boyfriend's sister says I'll never be part of the family, you deserve better, she told him after I stood up for my cousin. Now, as I'm left feeling like an outsider, is love enough to bridge this toxic divide before our engagement? In 2020, before my boyfriend and I officially began dating, I did not want to commit right away. I was 22 and he was 25 and I simply was not ready. When I finally agreed to be his girlfriend in December 2020, he had already told his sister that I had been playing him and had been hesitant, and ever since then she has not liked me. Throughout 2021, my boyfriend frequently shared our relationship problems with his sister, brother, and even friends. I asked him to stop, but the harm had already been done. His brother initially did not like me either, but we grew closer later on since they lived together. I met his sister in February 2022 and genuinely tried to make a good impression. I even sent her a birthday cake. Things seemed fine, we invited each other to events, and I included her in family dinners. Then, in February 2024, I discovered that her boyfriend had been texting my cousin someone with whom he had previously been intimate. I felt it was right to inform her. Instead of listening to my concerns, she accused us of lying, cut ties with both my cousin and me, and sided with him. Later, I found out that she, her boyfriend, and their aunt had been eavesdropping on a private conversation between her boyfriend and my cousin, during which very personal matters were discussed. I confronted them and stated that they owed my cousin and me an apology. They did apologize, but things never truly healed. By July 2024, I believed we were okay again. I spent time with her and my boyfriend's brother's girlfriend. This was their first meeting, and while I attempted to include everyone, I had hung out more with the girlfriend before, so we naturally conversed more. Afterward, my boyfriend's sister claimed I was excluding her, which felt unjust because I genuinely tried to be welcoming. In August 2024, my boyfriend and I briefly broke up. During that time, she told him she never liked me since 2020, that he deserved better, and that she did not like my family. She also removed my family from her social media. We reconciled, but I never forgot her words. She additionally admitted she was upset that I asked for an apology, but I felt disrespected as well, considering it involved my family. In December 2024, my cousin contacted her boyfriend to apologize and seek closure. He secretly recorded the call and informed my boyfriend's sister. In January 2025, she sent me the following message. "Hello, I hope you're doing well. Since you will be marrying my brother, I thought I would reach out to clear the air and ensure that things are settled for the better. I forgive everything that happened for the sake of God, and I believe we should have a respectful relationship with one another. Everything that occurred was very unfortunate, but I hold no harsh feelings towards you, and I am choosing to leave it all in the past. However, I want to clarify one thing. Please do not ever expect me to interact or associate with your cousin. She has done some very bizarre and disrespectful things to me in my relationship, and that is not the type of person I would ever want to surround myself with. I would appreciate it if you could respect this boundary, and I have discussed this with my brother, and he agrees with me. I hope we can let everything go and build a friendly relationship with one another." I accepted her message and respected the boundary. Since then, we have not communicated. Recently, she had a small proposal with her boyfriend. My family was not invited because my boyfriend and I are not yet officially engaged. My boyfriend did not inform me about it until the night it occurred because he thought I would react with anger. She's very close to her other brother's fiancé and frequently posts about her, referring to her as my built-in best friend and calling her the hottest couple in their engagement posts. This hurt me. Her mother and the brother's fiancé both love me now, but the mother was hesitant in the past due to things my boyfriend's former roommate said, like that I was mentally unstable or too emotional during our arguments. I take prescribed medication for attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, and my boyfriend never explained his role in those disagreements. Incidents included liking half-naked photos of other girls, jokingly calling me loose after our first time, and downloading dating apps during brief breakups. He has not done any of that since 2022. However, no one in his family knows the full story. They only viewed me as the problem due to what he overshared. The most painful part, before his mother was even aware of me, she and his sister told my boyfriend that he is just like their uncle and that his wife, referring to me, would walk all over him. The sister knew me at the time. That truly broke me. I feel as though no matter how hard I try, I will always be seen as the outsider or the villain in their story. I have made attempts. I have forgiven. I have shown up with love repeatedly, but I am emotionally drained. My boyfriend has matured and defended me significantly over the past few years. He never had a girlfriend before me and had never even talked to another girl. However, when I recently expressed how I feel, he simply said, "It might get better," and advised me to forget them, and focus on us. I do not know if I can do that. I have always longed for a close, loving relationship with my in-laws. Now I am uncertain if I will ever have that. The only thing keeping me in the relationship is the love his mother and his fiancé shower upon me. We are set to get engaged next month, and I am wondering if I should continue with this relationship or let it go. Thank you. TLDR, my boyfriend, 29 years old, and I, 26 years old, have been together since 2020. His sister, 24 years old, has never liked me due to how our relationship began and because my boyfriend overshared our issues with her and others. Despite years of attempts to build a positive relationship with her, including confronting her about her boyfriend texting my cousin, which she did not handle well. Things have remained tense and distant. She sent a message in 2025 stating that she forgives me but will never be comfortable with my cousin, and since then, she has kept her distance. She recently had a proposal and did not invite my family, and she is very close with her other brother's fiancé, which makes me feel excluded. My boyfriend advises me to ignore all of this and simply focus on us. But I am emotionally exhausted and questioning if I can remain in a relationship where I feel I will never be accepted by his family.